started in a seat. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the options and the ideas and all of that good stuff. Once we make our way to our seat, if you would like to just sit right down on your yoga mat, you can. You're also always welcome to begin in a chair or seated against the wall or sitting on something cushy and comfortable, whatever you want. Legs loosely crossed is a great place to be. If you'd like to put your legs out in front of you, that's good too. If you like to sit on your shins, if that's comfortable for you, you're welcome to sit up on your shins. All of those seated postures are great options to start with. If you don't yet have your music on and you want to put some music on, feel free to do that as well. And I'll make my way back to my mat here in a second, once I get my screen set up here. So once you make your way to your seat, whether, again, you're in a chair or seated against the wall or right on your yoga mat, make any of those wiggly movements you need to make to get settled in. So rocking of the head side to side, big rolls of the shoulders, maybe even rocking your knees side to side if that feels good. Any of those physical movements that remind your body that it's yoga time, that help you to settle in a bit. Make sure we can see my yoga mat back there. Brilliant. Okay. Oh, that's very bright, my goodness. You'll have like my shape in like a halo today. That'll be fun. Okay. Giving ourselves time, of course, to settle the body in. And then when you're ready to bring yourself to some stillness, just take note of how your body feels physically. Notice if there's any points of tension anywhere that we need to pay special favor to. Just meet yourself exactly where you are. And then once you're ready, begin to gently shift your focus over to your breath. I invite you, if you'd like to place a hand on your belly and place a hand on your heart. This gives us another cue for what our breath is doing and how to really breathe into our space here. Root down firmly through those sit bones, and as you inhale, expand into your hands. So make everything torso, chest, belly bigger. And then as you exhale, those hands will relax back down to where they started. Release it all and let it go. 4 more rounds of big breath here. Two more big breaths. Maybe each one gets a little bit deeper. And last one. And I invite you to maintain your seat here, nice, tall, dignified spine, drawing thumbs to heart center, hands to prayer in front of the heart here. Eyes open or closed, your choice. I invite you here to set an intention for this evening's practice. So perhaps just meet every pose where it meets you, perhaps focusing a little bit more on your breath, or coming back into the present moment at any point if your mind starts to wander. Those are just suggestions. If you have another intention you'd like for tonight's practice, please feel free to bring it to mind here. Inhaling that intention. Exhale to send it to the universe. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale, sweeping those arms up and overhead, pressing our palms together. Exhaling to draw thumbs to heart center. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, reach those arms overhead, get nice and tall. Exhaling, thumbs to heart center. Last time, inhale, reaching those arms overhead. And exhaling, thumbs to heart center. This time we'll inhale, press those palms together. As we exhale, interlace those hands behind your head. Now press the head into the hands, hands into the head. Keep those elbows nice and wide so your elbows are not forward. Elbows are wide, sit bones are rooted. Inhale here. Exhale, gentle side bend to the right. So drop that right elbow towards the floor. Keep the elbows flared out wide. Press your head into your hands, creating a little bit of opening through the front side of the shoulders. One more inhale. and an exhale. And then we'll inhale back to center here, head into hands. Exhaling our side bend to the left. Elbows stay flared out wide. Chest stays nice and open. Press your head into your hands. One more big inhale. And our full exhale. And then we'll inhale back to center. Let's reach those arms overhead, press palms together. And exhale, thumbs through heart center. Beautiful. We'll make our way over to our tabletop position here, my friends. Removing any blocks or props you have, giving yourself lots of space here. We want to spread those fingers really wide. As we set ourselves up, index fingers are parallel to each other, shoulders on top of those wrists, knees are hip distance apart, toes tucked or untucked, you pick. Let's inhale to relax the belly down towards the floor. Lift the gaze, lift the tailbone. As we exhale, push the mat away, dome the upper back, tucking your belly. Inhale, drop the belly down, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone. Exhaling as we push the mat away. One more time, inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone. And as we exhale, push the mat away. Come on back to our neutral spine here. Keep those shoulders stacked over those wrists. As you inhale, extend your right leg straight behind you. As you exhale, draw your knee in towards your chest, dome the upper back like our cat pose. Inhale, reach that right leg straight behind you, square hips. Exhaling, knee into chest, dome the upper back. Inhale, reach that right leg behind you. Exhaling, knee to chest, last time here. And then we'll inhale to reach that right leg behind us. As we exhale, we're going to place that right foot to the outside of the left foot, taking it as far as you want to. So if it's just the outside of the mat, that's okay. If you can go further, take it further. Shoulders stay over those wrists here. Belly is tight. One more inhale. And exhale. And then we'll inhale back to center. Right leg is behind us. Level off those hips. Exhaling ourselves back to our tabletop position here. Restack those shoulders, my friends. We'll switch to the other side. On our inhale, extend that left leg straight behind you. Exhale, knee to chest, dome the upper back like our cat pose. Inhale, left leg reaches behind. Exhaling, knee to chest. Inhale, reach it behind. Exhaling, knee to chest. This is our last time here. And then we'll inhale that left leg behind us. Exhale to step that left foot to the outside of the right. Again, take it as far as you'd like. If it's just on your mat, that's great. If it's a little further, also great. Shoulders over those wrists. Fingers are spread wide. One more inhale. Enjoy your exhale. And then we'll inhale that left leg straight behind us. Level your hips off. Exhaling ourselves back to our tabletop position. Any wiggly movements you want to make to set yourself up for success here tonight, you're welcome to. And then we'll set our knees a few inches behind our hips. Restack shoulders over wrists. Find a full inhale. Exhale to send our hips to the sky for downward facing dog. So root firmly through those hands. Balls of the feet have nice equal pressure. Heels might be up off the ground. That's totally okay. Bend in the knees is totally okay. Chest towards thighs. 2 more breaths. One more breath here. Let's inhale. And exhale. And then we're going to inhale our right leg up towards the ceiling. Find those nice square hips first, and then we bend that right knee, make those big hip circles. Taking the circle the other direction here. On your next inhale, extend your right leg behind you. As you exhale, bend that knee and fan open the hip and pause here. Right hip stacks on top of that left hip. Try to square those shoulders off. Use the strength of your glutes to stay here. One more breath. Then we'll inhale to square off those hips, right leg behind us. Exhaling ourselves back to downward facing dog. You can pedal it out, find a breath in and a breath out. And then we'll inhale that left leg up towards the ceiling. And then when you're ready, bend that left knee, make those big hip circles, left side. Switching the circles the other direction. And then on your next inhale, extend that left leg straight behind you, and then we'll bend that left knee again and fan open the hip. Use your glutes to keep those hips stacked here. Square off those shoulders. Take one more inhale and an exhale. Then we'll inhale to square off those hips here. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Pedal it out if you'd like to. Find a big inhale and a full exhale. And we'll send those hips a little higher. Take our tiny baby steps here towards the top of the mat. Finding a forward fold with as much of a bend in those knees as you need to get your hands on the ground here. Equal pressure through the balls and the heels of the feet here. And then when you're ready, we can bring hands to shins or blocks. Find a halfway lift. Here's our neutral spine. Exhaling to fold down. Let's do that again. As we inhale, halfway lift. You're welcome, of course, to straighten your knees if you'd like to. And then as you exhale to fold, bend your knees so that your hands can find the floor. Ooh. One more halfway lift. Inhale here. And exhale, folding all the way down. And then we'll press through both feet. We'll start to straighten those knees. We start to extend those hips forward. Those arms come up and overhead. Full breath in, everybody. Exhale, thumbs through heart center, mountain pose, Tadasana. Good, let's take our side bends again with our interlaced hands like we did earlier. I just like to face you to do this. So feet are hip distance apart, root equally through both feet here. Inhale, arms up and overhead, get really tall. Exhale, interlace those hands behind the head. Now press your head into your hands, elbows are wide, draw your belly button in towards your spine. Here's our inhale. Exhale, side bend to the right. Elbows stay wide. I'll face the side on the second one for you so you can see a different view of it. On your next inhale, draw yourself back to center. As you exhale, left elbow towards the ground. So press your head into your hands, equal pressure both feet, draw that belly button in, elbows wide. And then on your next inhale, come on back to center, release the hands to the sky, press palms together. As we exhale, folding forward to come all the way down, placing as much of a bend in those knees as you need to touch the ground. As you inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins or blocks. You're welcome to keep the bend or straighten, that's up to you. And then as you exhale, bend your knees to plant your hands firmly. We'll make our way all the way back to downward facing dog. Finding a full breath in here. Big breath out. We'll inhale that right leg up towards the ceiling here. When you're ready, find those nice square hips. Exhale to step that right foot forward. Bring your back left knee down onto the ground. Find low leg lunge on the right side. Right knee's on top of that right ankle here. If you have to back out of it to try to square your hips, feel free to do so. You really want to set yourself up here. Draw your belly button in. Back toes are tucked under. Shoulder blades are down, fingertips up when you're ready. Invite all pets to do yoga. 2 more breaths. One more full inhale. As we exhale, left fingers to the ground, right fingers to the sky. Let's find our twist. One more big breath in. As we exhale, unwind, both hands down, back knee will lift, and then we'll step ourselves back to downward facing dog. Finding a full inhale and a big exhale. Then we'll inhale that left leg up towards the ceiling when you're ready here. Exhale to step that left foot forward. We'll drop that back knee down, finding low leg lunge here on the left side. Again, if you want to back out of it to square your hips, you can do so. Settling back in here. Think about drawing this front femur bone into the hip socket. So activate the outer part of your butt. Belly button is tight. Shoulder blades down, fingertips up. Here we are, 3 breaths. We'll take one more inhale. As we exhale, those right fingers come down, left fingers to the sky. Here's our twist. Strong and steady 3 breaths. One more inhale. As we exhale, touch the ground as we unwind here. Lift your back knee, then we'll step ourselves back to downward facing dog. Take a big full inhale. Full exhale. The inhale brings us forward to a high plank, shoulders over those wrists. The exhale drops the knees down, send your shoulders a bit forward and come down onto your chest. Shoulder blades on the back here. Pinch the bottoms of the shoulder blades together, everybody. Inhale, baby cobra. As we exhale, you can come through a tabletop or send yourself right up to downward facing dog. Big breath in. Full breath out. And when you're ready, we'll send those hips a little higher. You can take your baby steps or a big step up to the top of the mat here. Forward fold with as much of a bend in those knees as you need. Hands to shins. Inhale, halfway lift, neutral spine. Exhale to fold down. Press through those feet to draw that torso all the way up. Expand those arms up and overhead. Press palms together. Inhale. Exhale, thumbs through, heart center, mountain pose, Tadasana. Keep those feet hip distance apart. You can have hands on hips, thumbs to heart center, or sweep those arms up. We'll find our chair pose with feet separated. So you should be able to see your toes. Because your feet are apart, your knees also have to be apart here. Hands on hips are a great position to be. Thumbs to heart center or reach it up. It's up to you. 3 breaths here. One more breath. Let's inhale. And exhale. And then we'll press through those feet to stand all the way up. Press palms together. Inhale. Exhale, folding forward, come all the way down. So place as much of a bend in your knees as you need to. If you have blocks, my friends, I invite you to use them under those hands. We're going to do a nice forward fold here. Ragdoll pose is where we're headed. So you're always welcome to use your blocks at the top of your mat for any of these folds. If you do not have blocks, that's okay. Again, as much of a bend in those knees to get to the ground and then grab opposite elbows. You want those hands to have something to hold on to. It's safer for the lower back. So ragdoll pose, heavy head here. And then if we really want to start to work into the back side of the body, equal pressure through the ball of the feet and the heels here. You can begin to straighten those knees. As we straighten those knees, think about your hamstrings, not your knee joints. So send your hamstrings towards the wall behind you. Head gets heavier and heavier as you straighten and fold. If this is not comfortable, put that bend back in those knees and place your hands on the ground. Okay, lots of options there, or your blocks, whatever you have here. We'll take 2 more breaths. One more breath. Let's inhale. And exhale. And then wherever you are, draw your hands to your shins. Come to your halfway lift. Here's our inhale. And then our exhale, drop those hands to the mat, step ourselves back to downward facing dog. Taking a big breath in. Full breath out. When you're ready, we'll inhale that right leg up towards the ceiling. Nice square hips here. As we exhale, step that right foot forward. We're going to keep our back knee lifted this time, everybody, as we draw that body up into a full-size crescent lunge. So as we settle in here, right knee's on top of that right ankle, square off those hips, press firmly through the ball of the back foot. If you have a bend in your back knee, that's okay. Think about sending your hamstring up to work into this left hip a little bit more here. Draw your right femur bone into the hip socket. Belly button is tight. Fingertips are down. We are activating in this pose, strengthening as well as stretching. So we're preparing for those poses we were going to get to later. Find our breath. Take one more inhale. As we exhale, let's take an upright twist here. Shoulders stay over hips. Arms are straight and strong. You're welcome to stay here, or the right hand can find the left hamstring. Reach those left fingers back. And then on your next inhale, we'll bring ourselves back to our crescent lunge here. Reach those fingers up. As we exhale, frame that front foot. Let's step ourselves back to downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Full breath out. When you're ready, we'll inhale that left leg up towards the ceiling. Nice square hips here. As we exhale, step that left foot forward. Keep that back knee lifted here. Press through those feet, everybody. Torso comes up, full size crescent lunge, left side. So think about drawing this left femur bone into the hip socket. That's going to square those hips off. If you have a bend in the back knee, that's okay. You can stay or send this hamstring towards the wall behind you. Belly button is drawn in. Shoulders and hips are square. Here we are, 3 breaths. One more breath, inhale. As we exhale, take our upright twist to the left. Shoulders are still over those hips here, arms are straight and strong. And then you can stay here, or that left hand can find that right hamstring. Option. As we inhale, we come back to center, crescent lunge, get super tall. Exhale to frame that front foot. Let's take ourselves back to find downward facing dog. Take a big breath in here. Full breath out. Inhale brings us forward to a high plank here. Everybody, shoulders over wrists. The exhale drops the knees down. Send the shoulders forward. Come down onto your chest. Shoulders on the back. Baby cobra is a great place to be. Full cobra option here. Take a full inhale. As we exhale, you can send yourself through tabletop or right up to downward facing dog. Taking a big breath in and a full breath out. And we'll send those hips a little higher. You can walk, step, or hop up to the top of the mat. Here's our forward fold with as much of a bend in those knees as you want. Hands to shins. Inhaling to a halfway lift, neutral spine. Exhaling to fold down. Press through those feet to bring that torso all the way up, reaching those arms up and overhead on our inhale. Exhale to draw thumbs through, heart center, mountain pose, Tadasana. One more chair pose, everybody. Bring those feet all the way together. Big toes touch, inner thighs touch, hands on hips, thumbs to heart center, or sweep it up and overhead. Utkata chair pose. As you look down, make sure you can see those toes. One more breath, everybody. Here we go. Inhale. And exhale. And then press through those feet to stand all the way up. Big breath in, my friends. Exhale to fold forward. Separate those feet to hip distance. We'll take another forward fold here. So we'll set up the same way. Bend your knees as much as you need to touch the ground safely. You can take ragdoll like we did before, going right into grabbing opposite elbows, or you can take your first 2 fingers around your big toe. Peace sign fingers, as they say, around your big toe here, like your feet are wearing flip-flops. And then as you start to work the forward fold, your fingers pull into your toes pull into fingers here. Allow your head to hang heavy. And then again, if you want to work towards straight knees, send your hamstrings behind you. 3 breaths. One more breath. And then wherever you have those hands, let's unhook those hands. Draw hands to shins, neutral spine. Inhale, halfway lift here. As we exhale, bend your knees as much as you need to plant those hands. We'll take ourselves all the way back to downward facing dog. What are you doing? Find a full breath in. And a big breath out. When you're ready, inhale that right leg up towards the ceiling here. Nice square hips. As we exhale, step that right foot forward. Come on up to those fingertips here, my friends. We're going to pivot our left foot down. So we've created warrior 2 in the lower body. And then press through both feet to bring that torso all the way up. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2 on the right side. Right knee's on top of that right ankle. Also, I'm in front of the cat. That's great. It's her birthday today. I'm not going to get too mad at her. Level off your hips here. If your back hip is up too high, engage your right inner thigh to level those hips. Belly button is in, shoulder blades down, arms straight and strong. Warrior two, right side. Here we are. Let's find our breath. One more breath, everybody. Here we go. Inhale. And exhale. Let's pair some breath and movement here. Straighten that right knee. As you inhale, reach those arms up. You can gaze up. Exhale, back to warrior two. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, warrior two. One more time. Inhale, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, warrior two. Pause right here, my friends. Activate your outer right butt cheek here. It's going to help your knee alignment. And then when you're ready, right forearm to right thigh, left fingers to the sky, side angle pose here. So this is a great stretch for the front of the left side of the body. Great stretch for your right butt cheek and hip. You're welcome to keep that left arm up. Hover that left arm above your ear. You can tuck that left arm behind your lower back. Lots of options here. Press forearm into thigh, thigh into forearm. 2 more breaths. One more breath, everybody. Here we go. Inhale. And exhale. Then we're going to gaze down at those right toes, both hands to the inside of that right foot as we square off those hips. You can walk your right foot out a little bit here. We'll find a very brief lizard lunge on the right side. So your right foot is flat. Think about drawing your right femur bone into that hip socket that's going to square off your hips. Squeeze your outer part of your right glute. Press through the ball of your left foot. Take one more inhale. And your exhale. And then we can scoot that right foot in a little bit so that you can frame that foot. Finding an exhale, step yourself back to downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Full breath out. When you're ready, we'll inhale that left leg up towards the ceiling here. Find those nice square hips. Exhale to step that left foot forward. Come on up to your fingertips here, my friends. We'll pivot that right foot down, that back foot, and then press through both feet to bring that torso all the way up. Warrior two, left side. Left knee's on top of that left ankle. You don't want your right hip to be up too high, so engage your left inner thigh, level off those hips. Press through the outer edge of that back foot, shoulders over hips, arms straight and strong. 3 breaths. One more breath. And then we'll find some breath and movement as we straighten that left knee here. Reach up, you can look up. As we exhale, find warrior two. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, warrior two. One more time. Inhale, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, warrior two. Pause right here, everybody. Find that warrior again. Engage your outer left butt cheek here to keep this alignment. And then when you're ready, left forearm to left thigh. Right fingers to the sky, finding side angle pose on the left side. Right fingers can stay up. You can hover above your ear or tuck behind the lower back. Stay strong in those legs. Here's our breath. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. And we're going to gaze down at those left toes, square off those shoulders, drop both hands to the inside of that left foot here, everybody. You might have to scoot that left foot out a little bit, that's okay. Finding a quick lizard lunge on this side. So think about drawing your left femur bone into the hip socket here. Activate your left butt cheek. Press firmly through those hands. Press firmly through the ball of the right foot. One more breath in. And a breath out. And then we'll scoot that left foot in a little bit so that you can frame it. Here's our inhale. As we exhale, step ourselves back to downward facing dog. Finding a full breath in. And a big breath out. Then our inhale draws us forward to a high plank here, shoulders over wrists. You're welcome to drop your knees down or keep those knees elevated, bringing that body all the way down to the mat. Shoulders on the back for baby or full cobra. Here's our inhale. As we exhale, roll over those toes to tabletop or right up to downward facing dog. Taking a full breath in and a big breath out. And when you're ready, we'll send those hips up a little higher. You can walk, step, or hop up to the top of your mat here. Coming into our forward fold with as much of a bend in those knees as you need. Bring hands to shins. Inhaling to a halfway lift, neutral spine. Exhale, fold down. Press through both feet. Bring that torso all the way up. Expand those arms and overhead. Inhale. And exhale. Thumbs through heart center, mountain pose. Tadasana. Good. All right, so we're going to open up to a wide-legged forward fold. You can face whatever direction you want to face here. I clearly want to face you, so here we are. So we're going to take one wide-legged forward fold, and then we're going to go into goddess from there, okay? So as we set this posture up, toes are in, heels are out. You might have a little micro bend in those knees here, but not too much, right? We're not like that. Belly button draws in. Activate your glutes. You can start hands on hips, roll shoulders back. Inhale. As we exhale, you can start to come down here. You can pause to check alignment or keep continuing your forward fold here till your hands find the ground. If you need a block under those hands to set yourself up, you're welcome to use a block here. What we want to look for is hip, knee, and ankle all aligned. That's going to make sure we've got equal pressure through the front and the back of our feet here. And then you can do whatever you like to continue this forward fold. You can stay on those hands. You can continue to fold to drop forearms down. You can reach for those toes or reach for those ankles. Head is heavy. Press through both feet here, everybody. 3 breaths. One more breath. Let's inhale. And exhale. And then we'll press firmly through those hands. So come sort of to a halfway lift here. Then we'll take our hands to our hips to continue our stand all the way up, torso nice and tall. And then we're going to keep our feet to this distance here. Just draw the heels in, toes out, as we start to set ourselves up for goddess pose. So I'll try to turn sideways to show you goddess pose a little bit that way too. I'll drop into it right from here as we get ourselves set up and organized. So toes are out, heels are in. As you start to drop your hips down, check out your knees. Your knees need to go the same direction as your toes. So if you feel like your knees are coming inward, you got to activate your butt, right? We've been talking about that all day. We've been talking about that basically all year. Activate your outer glute to track that knee the same line as the toes here. Sit bones are nice and low. So you're taking your sit bones towards the ground here. Draw that belly button in. Now, if you need a shallow goddess to kind of set yourself up, you're welcome to stay up here and then kind of wiggle yourself to settle in. That's up to you. If you're feeling good and can drop right into it, that's great too. Cat number 2 in the house. You can keep hands on hips. You can take hands to thighs, hands to knees, or bend at the elbows to come into full goddess if you'd like to. So if you need to come up and out of it and drop back in, that's okay. We're going to hang on to this to really work all parts of that alignment. I'm going to turn sideways for you here and drop back in for you. See if I can do this without sliding. There we go. So sit bones towards the ground. You don't want your knees to buckle in this way. So you have to activate your glute to take that knee out the right direction here. We also don't want in this pose our butts to go back. So we have to draw the torso up, send the sit bones low as we settle in. Belly button is tight. I know we're still in it. If you have to come out of it, come out of it. It's okay. We're going to take 3 more breaths, everybody. So find your spot here. One more breath. Here we go. Let's inhale. And exhale. And then press through those feet. Straight arms, straight legs, 5-pointed star. Take your hands back to your hips. We're going to switch those feet to toes in, heels out. For another wide-legged forward fold. We're going to see how that feels after all that hip and glute activation. Shoulders back, chest forward, breath in. Exhale to take it forward. Hands down, forearms down, grab those toes or ankles. 3 breaths. One more full inhale. And a big exhale. Then we'll press firmly through those hands. Here's our halfway lift, everybody. We'll make our way towards the top of our mat here. So we're going to square off hips and shoulders, frame the foot at the top of the mat, plant those hands, take a breath in. As we exhale, step ourselves back to downward facing dog. Full inhale here. Big exhale. Our next inhale draws us forward to a high plank. Shoulders over those wrists. As you exhale, you can drop your knees down or take your body all the way down as a unit. Shoulders on the back, baby cobra or full cobra. Here's our inhale. As we exhale, roll over those toes to tabletop or right up to downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Full breath out. And then we'll send those hips a little higher. We're going to take our hands and our feet together towards the middle of the mat, because I never cue that, and that's fun. So we're all at the middle here. And then press through those feet to bring that torso all the way up. Expand those arms up and overhead. Here's our inhale. Exhale, thumbs through heart center, mountain pose, Tadasana. Good. All right, so let's take yogi squat now. So our hips have been opened a little bit here. If you use blocks, I invite you to sit on a block. If you don't have a block, don't worry about it. Okay, so I'll give you cues for both with and without a block here. The thing that makes yogi squat, one of the things that makes yogi squat super hard as compared to goddess pose, is that your knees are in a full flexion, meaning that they are bending as much as they can bend. And that's super challenging for a lot of us. A lot of times when we have low back pain, it has to do not only with tight hamstrings, but tight hips. And so this is a big hip opener as well. So activating all of those things together can make this pose really, really, really challenging, okay? So we'll work through all the steps of it. Take your feet to mat distance. That's usually a good place for us to start. Toes are out. And then as you drop down, maybe you drop down to sit on a block or something, or a stool, or whatever you have, right? So if you need to sit on a block, you can sit on a block. I will turn to face you here in a second to show you from the front. Just like we did, block can stay if you have it. Just like we did with goddess pose, you don't want your knees to buckle in towards the middle of your body. So you have to now activate your outer glute to squeeze your butt here, to take those knees the same direction as your toes, even if that lifts you out of the squat. That's totally okay. It's better for your knees if they go the direction of your toes, even if you're up higher, that's okay. If you struggle to keep your heels down in this pose, take your feet wider. You can go off the mat, that's no big deal. I'll show you that sideways as well. So set those feet. If you need your hands on the ground or on a block to get yourself set up, that's okay too. I will show you this way. So again, if you want to sit on a block, you can sit on a block here. We do not want our knees to buckle in this way. So what we have to do, feet in a little bit here. What we have to do is activate our glutes to take those knees out. If that lifts you up, that is okay. And then as you get yourself set, again, if your heels are up, take your feet wider. I readjusted, so I gotta fix myself here. As you get yourself set up, there's nothing that says that you can't have hands on blocks, that you can't sit on the block. You're also welcome to take your elbows to your knees if you wanna try that. So often we use our hands and our elbows to work our knees out. That's kind of a stretch, but it's definitely a cheat. So you wanna activate your butt because it makes it much more functional to get into this pose. If, because I'm talking so much, you are struggling to stay in this pose, come out of it, drop into butterfly. You can try goddess if you want to. But as you start to really settle into yogi squat here, you can start to really play with how to get not only hips wide, but then torso up. So sometimes we can work those hips wide, but we're a little folded forward. That's okay. It's okay if that's where you are. Send those sit bones towards the ground, crown of the head towards the ceiling. We've got 3 more breaths, my friends. Let's stay in it. One more breath. My glute muscles are twitching, just so you know, it's not only you. Inhale. And exhale. And then everybody drop those hands down to the ground. Send those hips up. You can move those feet and those knees. The release of that is sometimes amazing, isn't it? And then I'm going to head back to the top of my mat. You can adjust your feet to any distance apart that feels good. And then if you want to bend and straighten, you can. You can wiggle side to side. You can sit all the way down if you need to sit for a second here. And then from our forward fold, bring hands to shins. Inhale, halfway lift. As we exhale, plant those hands firmly. We're going to take ourselves all the way back to downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a breath out. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale the right leg up towards the ceiling. We're going to bend that right knee and we're going to fan open the hip just like we did earlier. Take notice if it feels any different here. Activate that glute again to keep that leg elevated. Square off those shoulders. One more inhale. And our exhale. Then we'll inhale to square off those hips. As we exhale, find downward facing dog, pedal it out, find a breath in and a breath out. Then we'll inhale that left leg towards the ceiling here, bend that left knee and fan open the hip. Take notice. Activate that glute. Inhale. Exhale. We'll inhale to square off those hips, left leg extends behind. Exhale back to downward facing dog, take a breath in. And a breath out. The inhale brings you forward to a high plank. This is our last one, everybody. As you exhale, knees up or down to the mat or chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing, here's our inhale. As we exhale, tabletop or right up to downward facing dog. Big full breath in. Full breath out. Send those hips a little higher. You can walk, step, or hop up to the top of your mat. And then we're going to bend those knees down, coming down to a seat, finding butterfly pose for a moment here. Bottoms of the feet together, knees out wide, root down through those sit bones. Torso is tall. Just use this for a moment to reset a little bit, finding 2 breaths. One more breath, let's inhale. And exhale. And then we'll extend those legs in front of us here. Inner thighs together. Root down through those sit bones. Draw that belly button in. So we're going to take our forward fold here. As we do so, let's think about hip hinge forward, right? So we're going to lengthen from the hip before we forward fold. So let's inhale, arms up and overhead. Get as tall as you can from your sit bones to your fingertips. As you exhale, hip hinge forward rather than just rounding our back forward. So take it from your butt, from your hips to fold forward. Create length before movement, right? And as we do so, you can maybe grab to shins, maybe to ankles, maybe you've got your feet today, maybe your toes. Continue that forward fold. Keep your sit bones rooted. Find your breath. Gently bringing that torso all the way up here. We can shake those legs out. And then we're going to carefully bend those knees, wrap your hands or your forearms around your shins. Take a full inhale. As we exhale, make your way all the way down onto your back. Making any movements you like to with those knees. Circles are great. Rock side to side if you'd like. Let me scoot down a little bit for you here. then we're going to plant those feet. We're taking one bridge pose tonight, everybody. Plant those feet to hip distance apart. Your heels do not have to be all the way next to your butt. Give yourself some space here. And then we're going to press through the shoulder blades, press through the back of the head, press through the triceps, press through the feet to lift those hips up as high as you can. As you do so, you can continue to press into those triceps. You can start to work shoulder blades together under the body. Press through those feet. If you like to work straight arms, you can work straight arms. Press those hips up as high as you can. Engage those inner thighs. Engage your glutes. 2 more breaths. One more breath, let's inhale. And exhale. And then we're very carefully going to lower that body all the way down here. You can rock it side to side if you'd like to do so. And then come on back to center. Walk those feet out to the distant width of your mat. Knees come in together. Arms can come out wide or overhead. Take a full inhale. As we exhale, let those knees open up to the right. So your feet are already apart. Your knees are coming apart here. Nice twist to the right side. Shoulder blades down. Find your breath. And then we'll gently inhale ourselves back to center. Reset, feet wide, knees in. And then we'll exhale, let those knees fall to the left. Feet are already apart. Knees come nice and wide apart. One more full inhale here. And a big exhale. Then we'll gently draw those knees back into center. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Reach in between those thighs to grab onto toes, arches, or ankles to find happy baby here. You can rock side to side. Tailbone is nice and long. Hi. Knees are apart. Feet are apart. You can rock back and forth or stay centered if you prefer. 2 more big breaths. One more full inhale. And a big exhale. And then we'll draw those inner thighs together. Let's extend those heels up towards the ceiling, getting as long as we can from our sit bones through our heels. If you like this posture, you can stay here. You can point and flex your feet. If you'd like to take legs up the wall, waterfall pose, you can make your way over to the wall and do so. Or stay right here. You can also feel free to draw the bottoms of the feet together, take the knees out wide for a lying butterfly stretch. Or any other postures you'd like to take to finish out tonight's practice. We have a few moments here, finding those poses that are most meaningful to you tonight. And in just a few moments, we'll make our way together to full Shavasana. Take your time with those extra postures today. If you haven't yet made your way to your final resting posture, feel free to find that pose you'd like to finish out today's practice in. Maybe it's legs up the wall tonight, waterfall pose to finish out, or maybe it's full Shavasana. Wherever you decide to take yourself. Head, hips, and heels are heavy. Allow yourself to come into full stillness and then take a big breath in. Exhale into the support of the earth beneath you, enjoying full Shavasana. Let's find a big breath all the way in. A full breath all the way out. Before we make any movements, just take notice of how your body feels here. Send a blessing of thanks for working so hard this evening. In your own time, gently begin to wiggle fingers and wiggle toes. Roll the wrists and ankles. And rock your head side to side. As you feel ready, extend those arms all the way overhead, getting as long as you can from your fingertips to your toes. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, draw your knees in towards your chest, wrap your forearms around your shins, give yourself a great big hug. Carefully making your way over to your favorite side in a fetal position. We'll take a moment of pause in this posture as we always do. Allowing ourselves to call to mind who in our lives we are grateful for. With a heart full of gratitude, use both hands to bring you up to a comfortable seat. Thumbs draw together at heart center once you arrive. Eyes open or close, your choice here. We'll finish out our time together with one more full round of breath. Let's inhale. And exhale. The light inside of me loves and honors the light inside each of you. Namaste. Namaste and cats and kittens, everyone. Thank you so much. I hope you liked it. I hope it was helpful. I hope your hips are happy. All the things.
Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you, Courtney.
Courtney.
It was great. It was perfect. Just what I needed today.
Yep,
Yay.
I agree.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Courtney. That was fantastic.
Yep.
Thank you so much, everybody.
We sit a lot, so we like it.